Howdy partners, this is Kiram with Clear Imaging. This is us right here, clearimaging.com. Wicked websites, at it for 2 decades and help tons of American companies. So today we're looking at a website, Castle Keepers Inc., and we're going to see what's good about it, what's bad, what they need to do to improve it so it ranks better in Google. Let's do this. So we're not going to do a design audit on this guy, although it severely needs a design audit. If we just take a scroll through, let's see if we have a copyright date. I'm curious when this was made. Look at this, a big list of cities. We'll talk about that later. This reminds me of websites made back in the early 2000s. All right, so it's got a 20-year-old look. I'm not slayed by it. Definitely needs a fresh design, but that's not this video. We're going to talk about SEO, search engine optimization, although it's very tempting to start talking about the design. So SEO, first things first, all right, is the title with SEO. You see the title right here in the code, and you see it up here in the tab. That's where it displays. This is where it lives, title. And this sends the strongest signal to Google about your page's content. So we've got company name to start with. Great, Castle Keepers. Carpet cleaning, water damage repair, and more. Great. But we're missing the locale, the city. So let's get their main city. I see they're operating in 2 different counties. So they should pick one city as their main focus. Don't try to be everything, but pick their main one and put it into the title right here. All right. Make another separator like that, and then put in the city. Bam. That would be the format for the title for the homepage. Company name, main keyword search, and then city of operation or service area. For inside pages, basically you want to have a unique title. So all these pages need to have a unique title, but not the same one as the homepage. They all need to be customized to reflect the content of the page. So this page is all about what? Water damage. So we've got Castle Keepers, oh no, it looks like exactly the same as the home page. See, as we click back and forth, home, water, they copy the same title, which is a big don't, it's a big no-no. You don't want to do that. Every title needs to be unique. You can't copy the title and be lazy and put it on all the pages. Let's assume they did that for cleaning services. Control U to open the source, and we'll click back and forth, and it's the same title. Not only the same title, but it's also the same description as well. That's a big SEO don't. Needs to be unique each page. And it has to reflect the contents of the page. So on the water damage page, you really want to focus on water damage in the title and not dilute it by putting in other stuff. All right. And you want to put variations of water damage. What are some other ways people are talking about it, right? Water removal, exactly. Water damage. How else are they talking about it? You have to do some research, and then you really focus in on the water page with those keywords in the title. So that needs to be done on all pages. That's pretty big. Let's keep rolling. We're on the home page here. Let's look at some keyword density. Let's type in carpet cleaning. That's one of the main terms. 9 matches. Pretty conservative. Pretty good. Not too much. Pretty good balance. I'm happy with that. You don't want to have too much, right? And you don't want to have too little. I'll show you an example of too much. My favorite, guys. My new favorite website. Landscaping. Just look at all that. Too much landscaping on this landscape here. Don't do it like that. This is much better. We're almost seeing 1 keyword per paragraph. That's a pretty nice distribution. What about water damage? 6. Again, pretty nice, pretty good vibe. You don't want to do too much. You always want to do actually a little. If I was going to go in one direction, I would put a little less than more, because Google is always modifying its algorithm, and you don't want to be one of these guys who gets caught with their pants down, who had a little bit, who's a little too aggressive with the keywords. All right. Water damage page, water damage, 10 matches on this page. Yeah, that makes sense. It's really about water damage. So doing pretty good with their keyword density. And what are some other things we can look at? Amount of text is pretty important for your SEO. Google is weighing your site, so to speak. It's trying to see, okay, what's this site all about? If your site only has a little bit of text, it's not enough to give Google the full picture. You have to really double down on the text so Google can effectively assess what you're all about. This home page is too light on the text. It has more than most, to be honest, but you need to have more. I like to see 1,000 words on a home page. 1,000 words. You can't have too much text. You can always have too little. Let's get 1,000 words on this home page. All right. And then for inside pages, right, these guys, let's get at least 500 words. This is great. This has nothing to do with SEO, but this is some really smart marketing right here. They put a picture of the owner. Personal guarantee, that is strong. Even though this website's design is atrocious, this is building a lot of trust, so that's very smart. Anyway, we won't diverge. Other things to consider is they just don't have enough pages. Oh no, we have an error. It's WordPress. Blah, blah, blah. Didn't work. I was really excited, well not really, but I was anticipating seeing what was in the blog because that is the solution to what I just stated. So we have a website like this, right? We've got a home page, 2 service pages, testimonial, contact, done. Well, Google isn't going to put a 5-page website on the top, right? You can't get to the top of Google by doing the bare minimum. You get to the top by dominating, and you dominate by creating lots of content or getting tons of links to your site. So, long story short, SEO is a weekly activity of fresh content to the site. All right, 500 words every week. Now, you're not going to add a page every week under water damage and have a huge drop-down menu. That's just going to get weird. Your pages go in the blog. That's where they're going to live. All right, week in and week out. So that's what they need to be doing to get that content, right? Because we can fix all the SEO issues on this site, like we just mentioned. And then, okay, where do we go from there? Well, the only place we go is expansion. They need to become a dominant player in their space of carpets, right? So the answer to that is creating content regularly, weekly, create more content than your competitors, put it in the blog. What can they write about? They can write little before and after posts. See how they have all these projects, right? This is great. Every time they do a job, they can write a little before and after, show how filthy it was, and they cleaned it, and the customer gave some feedback, and they were happy, and then they can write about their experience in the job. Blah, 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 little journal, maybe 300 words you can squeeze out of that. Who knows? Either way, that's a quick way for them to write fresh content almost on a daily basis, considering how many jobs they'd be doing. Video testimonials is a great idea. They definitely could use some more testimonials, but that would be a good content strategy. Otherwise, they can write tips, do it yourself. Here's how to remove blood from a carpet. Here's how to remove chocolate cake stain from a carpet. You know what I mean? They could do, DIY articles in the blog, or they can do documenting their jobs, like I just said, documenting their jobs as a content idea. So that would be a good move for them. We have something fun over here. Our service area is a big old block of keywords. This is something that was done a lot back in the day. Just, I want to rank well in Newport Richey and Tierra Verde and Dunedin. So I'm just going to write all these words on my page and Google is going to get the idea. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to cut it if you want to start ranking in any of these areas. I mean, it sends one signal to Google that, hey, you have something to do with Dunedin, but you're going to have to do more. A page for each one of these would be good. Or multiple pages, actually. Yes. I ran some tests. Let's take a peek at the tests. Something neat over here. Probably the fastest website I've ever seen on GTmetrix, right? 1.4 seconds. Holy smokes. If your site is slow, you'll get penalized by the Google. And this is such an old website, and it's so simple in its code that it just loads basically instantly. So they get a gold star for that. Although for whatever reason, Google PageSpeed gives them a high score on desktop. But for mobile, it's missing some optimization, so it's not too good for mobile. But it is rendering correctly, which is surprising. I wouldn't expect this. Oh, it's because it's WordPress. Yeah, it's because it's WordPress. It actually renders for mobile. But when we run the mobile-friendly test, it doesn't render. That happens sometimes with WordPress. Anyway, the site is mobile-friendly. If your site is not mobile-friendly, then you do get a penalization by the Google. You also get a penalization for not having a security certificate. So you definitely want to have one of those. Let's take a screenshot. I want to save that for the future of a website that doesn't have a security certificate. Just scrolling around here. Other than that, those are the broad strokes. There's a lot more to talk about SEO-wise for this site. There's over 100 factors involved when Google is judging a website. So today we're just doing a little dive and some overview on what could be done now to get this site rocking and rolling. So that just about does it. If you have a website, definitely apply what we talked about here today with the titles, with the text, with the content creation in the blog, etc., because if you want to win, you've got to do these optimizations. So don't just watch this today, apply it to your website. Now, if you want your website to be properly optimized, you know where to go. Come on down, clearimaging.com. All right, very wicked designs, fresh designs, and really good SEO. We've been around for 2 decades, since the early days of the Google. And we know how to do SEO right. That's why we've been around for so long, and we only do white hat SEO, which follows Google's guidelines. So if you want to make the safe choice, come on down, clearimaging.com, and let us know what we can do for you.